Good morning and welcome to BBRC Britain and English, and thank you very much for joining me here today. And may I wish you a very warm welcome, all you new visitors and any new subscribers. And you may remember the last session I did talk about the heinous post office scandal, where sub-postmasters were dragged through the courts for something they didn't even do. And it's a very sad situation in this country. It's still going on. It's been going on for now, nearly 25 years. And sadly, these people were not exonerated in the time. Some people died, some people committed suicide. And now it's all out into the fore with regards to the fact there was a drama documentary made by ITV, that's the TV company in Britain, anybody from abroad. And they exposed a lot of these things. But this actually came out quite a few years ago. And there was known to be errors by Fujitsu, who made the software. And nobody's admitted anything, certainly not in public, for... and now it's all going to court again, after another court case before ruled it was all illegitimate. So there's so much going on. These poor old postmasters still waiting for compensation. Well, what I would like to do today, like recap, is just confirm that some of you from abroad might think, well, what on earth's Britain like? And critics amongst you might think, well, goodness me, what's the rule of the law like there? We do have a good judicial system, goes back 1,000 years, and certainly I would say it's one of the best in the world, and it's got certainly a good reputation in the world, and certainly with individuals it's very highly considered, but this is to do with big companies and individuals. This is the problem we've had with big companies not admitting any liability. Of course, we're, as you know, people are innocent in this country until proven guilty. That's the main thing. We do have, looking on from that, freedom of speech, freedom of liberty, freedom of expression, and freedom of belief, perhaps freedom of religion. Most case law concerns the rights to liberty, privacy, freedom of conscience and expression, and the freedom of association and assembly. And that's what it says of the internet here. The UK also enshrines rights to fair labour standards, social security and a multitude of social and economic rights through its legislation. So there we are. So that's something else we're known for. Although I would say there's an awful lot of problems in this country when you want to try and find housing. The costs are so high compared to the income in many cases, and there isn't the social housing around. They're building so many houses, but actually the costs are so high. But the rentals and the costs of those houses are so high, and plus the fact the ones they're building normally, the people who make the money are the developers, and of course they want to sell them for the most profit they can make. And it's well over and beyond the local wage normally in the area, which it doesn't actually equate to these days, sadly, like it did do years ago. Perhaps when our parents bought a property, the cheapest property they could afford. Sadly, things have changed. They're building all over the place, but sadly not so much social housing because the housing associations can't afford it. So there we go. Something else, just a quick recap. I know we talked about this a couple of years ago. Some other things the UK is famous for. Just look at a few positives because I know there's been a few negatives, but hopefully it wouldn't affect you or I. But sadly, it did affect some. Like I say, there's some things I went through last session. If you want to recap or go back over that, so there was Hillsborough and like I say, the post office scandal, Birmingham 6. Sadly, things like that taken years to unfold and. For any justice to be served, sadly, some things haven't ever really been resolved. What the UK is famous for: Stonehenge, music, beautiful countryside, fish and chips, pubs, football, tea, the London Underground, gardens, national parks, although there's not that many left, and they keep building everywhere. Shakespeare, Stratford-on-Avon that is, you can look that up on the internet. Beaches around the coast, of course, Warwick Castle, Wimbledon, and other sports. So there's various things there. That's the list I've just taken off the internet here. As I say, people like to come here because of freedoms, and I mean they are coming from some oppressive regime sometimes, as you can well tell. We do have a lot of protests in London, freedom of protest as well there, where people mainly about international causes are protesting, like Ukraine, the war with the Russians. We've got Gaza and Palestine, Israel at the moment, and all the ramifications of that, and various other international causes, and perhaps where they're trying to get a message across to some international leaders as well from London. because don't forget, London's a very multicultural international city, probably about 80% non-English there. And of course, then there's all the visitors on top, and perhaps those who haven't signed any documentation. So there's a lot there, and perhaps some aren't counted. Anyway, I just thought I'd make that clear that we do have a good rule judicial system in this country. I didn't want you to look at all the negative and think, oh, what's happening? And that post office scandal, all those poor people. Is everybody treated like that? Well, we're not. They do try and get to the bottom of things. They do try and serve justice in any case. And I just hope that clears that up. And hope you have a good week. And I'll be preparing another session. I'm hoping also to perhaps do a few shots in future. So you might find that interesting. Thanks for watching today. Thank you very much. And have a great rest of the week here. God bless. Bye-bye now.